Pastor, calm down. The way they real out this diagnosis, they make my brain go frozen. You keep on saying this, saying that, and I'm here to make it quite simple to others to follow. Hi friends, welcome to yet another episode of the NSPPD Diagnostic Toolkit. And today we're going to be looking at some of the diagnoses that we have spoken of last week. Essentially, we had a full-on week with loads of them, and I've tried to pick out a few, simplified it for the general public, and I hope that by doing this, I will be making it easier for you, as always, to connect your problems to the prophetic words that have been mentioned across the week. So this week we had lung abscess.
I hear lung abscess. If you are the one, put it on the live stream. The devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. I announce, let it be reversed.
Obviously, lungs, it's the breathing machine in your body, on your chest. Abscess means a collection of pores. So in lung abscess, there is a collection of pores in a certain part of your lungs. People who have this will usually have a night sweat, chest pain, a very bad cough, quite painful breathing at times, and tiredness. Some of them will be losing appetite, and there might be also consequent weight loss. Now, if you've had cough for a while and you're starting to produce some very thick phlegm, I think it might be worthwhile having a look at your problem, getting a chest x-ray, getting a sputum sample sent off. Where this is diagnosed to be a lung abscess, usually predisposing risk factors would be stuff like pneumonia or a tumor, or if you had a low immunity for some time, or have a lung disease, pre-existing lung disease. Now, if you've had this test done and they tell you it's a lung abscess, it's all right to cry to God. God will usually come in to intervene. But while you're at it, why don't you try some antibiotics? You would also need some lung physiotherapy, having like a special exercise programs with your breathing, and some drainage might be necessary depending on how much collection we're talking about in this disease. Going down the line, we also had olfactory neuroblastoma.
Olfactory neuroblastoma. If you are the one, put it on the live stream. The devil is a liar. I announce, let it be reversed.
Now, olfactory means the smelling mechanism of the body, so it has to do with the nostrils. The neuroblastoma, OMA, as I've always told you, means it's a bad or maybe not so bad cancer, but this is a cancer of the body plates around the nostrils and in between the eyes. It's a very rare disease. It's not unusual to have very rare diseases mentioned in the course of the ministry, but usually for someone who's got the disease, you have pain around the eyes and you're struggling with nasal stuffiness, like you're always having catarrh, sometimes blockage to the nostrils. You can have unprovoked nosebleeds, headache, bulging eyes as well could also be part of what you'll be experiencing. And in some cases, people have some pus, like purulent stuff coming out from their nostrils. So if you've got this, it's not just a normal cold. If it's been persistent, getting worse, because these tumors tend to grow, I would advise you to perhaps get yourself looked at, get an ENT specialist to look at you. You may, in this case, need surgery to get rid of the tumor and some radiotherapy to make sure it doesn't recur. Now, like I said, this is extremely rare, but if you feel these things, you've held on, had your nasal sprays done, or the cough and cold treatment, and things aren't looking good, take advantage of this program, take advantage of the promises and the prophecies, and use that to your own treatment goals. Going again, last week we had intestinal polyposis.
Intestinal polyposis syndrome. Intestinal polyposis syndrome. If you are the one, put it on the live stream. The devil is a liar. I announce, let it be reversed.
Now, the big word here is the polyposis. Intestinal means the intestines. Polyposis means polyps. Polyps are like small growths that are not expected to be there. When there are loads of them, you have intestinal polyposis. Their sizes will also be a factor. But people who have this would usually have a bleed, rectal bleeding in the stool, blood in the stool, they will have pain in the tummy, they will have a change in their bowel pattern. So you find out that in many cases they are struggling with diarrhea or constipation or all forms of habits. And then they would be anemic because they are clearly bleeding into the intestines. And for managing this, a scan is important. Obviously, a doctor needs to feel your tummy, feel that it's painful in certain areas. If you've got the symptoms I've mentioned above, scan a test of your poo to see how much blood it contains, and then surgery to get rid of these excessive polyps. It's another rare hereditary condition. Hereditary means you can pass it down family to family. So if you've had a dad or a grandparent who suffered from bleeding in the stool for no known cause and you're starting to develop the same, it might be something that has gone into your genes, and where the prophetic healing powers are taking place, good and fine. Get your genetic testing also done to put a match to this illness and hopefully safeguard and monitor over the years as you get older, because it's quite recurrent. Remember, this is Dr. Jiobira. I'm a GP. I've got a special interest in YouTube, and this program is dedicated to the millions of people who tune in every day, every morning to the Stream of Joy International Ministries on YouTube. And it is a collateral, a complementary package, I would call it, to help the lay person who's in distress, believing God for his miracle, but not quite picking on the miracle because he doesn't know what his diagnosis are. So I would encourage you, share, like, subscribe, let all the people who are waiting on God, whose diseases have not been categorically mentioned, but they are holding on to their faith. They should have a listen to what we do and see if they can play back, match their diseases. The good thing about the ministry is that when a disease is spoken of early in the morning, you can actually listen to it after. It's your faith that matters, and grab your miracle whenever you're ready. So I'm going on to the next disease. We had gallbladder cancer.
Cancer of the gallbladder. Cancer of the gallbladder. The devil is a liar. Iron house. Let it be reversed. Let it be reversed.
The gallbladder, many of you perhaps don't know, but it's one of those tiny organs just around the liver on the right side of your tummy. So if you're getting pain around the right upper side of your tummy, you're getting abdominal bloating, you're having extreme tiredness, sometimes you're very itchy, yellowness of the eyes, you're losing weight, this might be something that's going on and you haven't really known it because you haven't sought the right answers. So it is another genetic condition in most cases, but people who have the symptoms would usually need a scan, see what the gallbladder is doing. They might require surgery to get rid of the cancer, or if it's early onset or if it's been found quite early, that's a good thing. Means that you can actually be treated successfully. Chemotherapy, that's treatment, and radiotherapy, all of these are the expensive options. But yes, you have to trust God. But while trusting God, you need to do your own due diligence. So again, we had pseudo-intestinal obstruction. Pseudo means not quite it, like a false presentation. Intestinal, the intestinal obstruction is a blockage. So someone who's got this would be suffering from abdominal pain. There will be bloating, in most cases nausea and vomiting because the food is not quite going through easily, and there will be constipation again because of the blockage. And people who present in this way, they tend to have, like, it's an era of you feel you're okay, and then you have another spell of troublesome symptoms. If this is you, clearly you need to see a doctor. It's not going to get away by wishful thinking. It may go away, but it will come back because the obstruction is there, and you need to have some surgery done to relieve you of whatever has caused this obstruction. What I usually say at this point is that remember, the gods will not do for man what man must do for himself. Your duty as someone who is educated enough to be on YouTube is to try to pick the information that is relevant to your own situation. You are a believer, and that's why you tune in. You've got some measure of faith and you're hoping that your miracle comes true. Now, while you're sitting and waiting for that miracle, there are basic things that if you did, your miracles would come to you quicker. And this is not trying to measure God or try to give terms and conditions to the supernatural. It's just you doing what you need to do, knowing what you need to know, so that you can get the results that you so realistically require. So that's this episode. I'll see you again sometime next week, and if you've enjoyed it, please do share, subscribe, like, leave a comment. Have you found it useful? Have I been blabbing? It's all right to blab. I know that there are millions of people who would find this tuned to their own particular needs. But until next time, remember, it's your health. You need to do what you need to do to get it right.